Wow, I'm being unplugged from beneath the TV. I wonder where we're going. I've been here for years. This is like an adventure. It's like going on holiday. Hey, I hope Spen's bought a lovely new screen for me to sit underneath. I love lovely brand new HDMI cables as well. Ooh, you just leaving me here for a second? Hey, who are you? You're my new best friend.
The Xbox is about to become an Xbox. And this week, Click is in the US to get the 360 on its successor. And we'll strap on the latest smartwatches to find out exactly what makes them tick. All that plus the latest tech news and a suite of tools to make your home videos look just that bit better in Webscape. Welcome to Click. I'm Spencer Kelly. In a couple of weeks' time, the video gaming world will head to Los Angeles for the annual E3 Games Expo. But this year is such a big year for gaming that the manufacturers are jumping the gun and making their announcements early. Sony has already teased us with the PlayStation 4, and now it's Microsoft's turn to try and get us excited. As the Xbox 360 prepares for retirement, Mark Iztuk has been to Microsoft's HQ to meet its successor.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Xbox One.
And with that, Microsoft fired another shot in the never-ending war over who can build the best gaming console. Or did it? With more than 100 million Xboxes sold through the years, there's never been any question that at its core, Xbox was all about the games. But in this round of console wars, Microsoft has a bigger, bolder approach to taking our living rooms hostage.
Team Xbox is on a new mission. Design and build an all-in-one system to light up a new generation of games, TV, and entertainment.
Microsoft's newest weapon does more than just allow you to score winning goals, drive race cars, and shoot down enemies. You can also use it to watch movies and live TV, listen to music, take a Skype call, even at the same time. And with ambitious content partnerships announced, like a new Halo TV show produced by none other than Steven Spielberg himself.
The Halo universe is an amazing opportunity to be at that intersection where technology and myth-making meet to produce something really groundbreaking.
It's a bit of a stretch to call the Xbox One just a gaming console, isn't it?
No, it's still a gaming console. It's just a gaming console built by gamers, for gamers, that's incorporated new functionality. Functionality that exists in the world in this modern age. So we've really built a product that we can innovate, that we can give creators the opportunity to build amazing new experiences for the next 10 years.
Certainly, playing to gamers has paid off for Microsoft. The company has been flying high on profits off Xbox for the past decade. But with a new offering from Nintendo already out and one from Sony on the way, media interest about the battle for gaming supremacy in a $65 billion annual market has never been more intense. After all, why else would the Click team join a gaggle of 200 other journalists to brave the cool Seattle weather on a wet Tuesday afternoon in May? So the question is, did Microsoft capture their attention with its newest weapon?
Splashy press conference today, splashy announcement. First impressions?
I think it's really interesting products. I think the stuff that Microsoft's doing with the entertainment stuff's really interesting. The game stuff was a bit light, but that was always going to happen. They've been very upfront about that's coming at E3.
I do like the name, the One, because I was kind of iffy about it at first, but now that I've realized that it's kind of an all-in-one thing, they want you to have that thing and nothing else on your TV stand, essentially, because it'll be an all-in-one entertainment system.
Do you feel like, Sony, Nintendo, Apple, Google have to be on notice after this?
Yeah, certainly. It's definitely, going into the same area as Google TV has. It's with the HDMI pass-through and overlays. It's much in the same way that Google TV has been trying to revolutionize things. So Google should be a little bit concerned there.
maybe it's Microsoft who should be concerned. Despite largely favorable initial reaction from the assembled media, many hardcore gamers took to social media, complaining about the emphasis on the Xbox's TV capabilities. Perhaps more worrying, the company's share price dropped during the hour-long announcement, while Sony's surged 9%. Investor indifference? Maybe, but there are also still big question marks hanging over the new device.
Despite this morning's big reveal, the new Xbox remains behind glass, where it'll stay until it's available on, well, Microsoft hasn't said. And it'll cost, well, again, no one knows.
And that's not all we don't know. Specifics about content deals, how nicely the device will play with cable and satellite providers, and just what games will be ready to take full advantage of the new system, especially since your old Xbox 360 games won't work on the Xbox One. Filling out the new box, a Blu-ray drive, 8-core x86 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, and a 500 gig hard drive. Though Microsoft didn't spend much time talking about tech specs, that would take time away from the pretty product pictures. But do give them some credit for actually showing us their device. A feat Sony spectacularly failed to match at their own launch event for the PS4, even this week's strategically timed teaser video, adding precious little to what we do know about the device's form factor. But this console war isn't just about the boxes themselves, it's partly about the accessories behind the battle lines. Microsoft has called up reinforcements in the form of a new Kinect, the motion sensing controller which will be bundled with every Xbox One.
Such an integral part of the new Xbox One experience is the improved Kinect interface. It's been completely redesigned with more immersive 3D capabilities, which allow for better gameplay and, most importantly, a more accurate Kinect.
It's the heart of an enhanced interface that can recognize individual users and serve up content customized to their interests and viewing habits. The Kinect's 1080p 30 frames per second camera allows it to see in the dark with vastly improved 3D imagery that should help it better understand a user's physical input and allow for better gameplay. And with Kinect's improved voice recognition capabilities, couch potatoes no longer need search for that pesky remote to do something as simple as change the channel.
Watch MTV.
Microsoft swears the Xbox One is first and foremost a gaming console. Exclusive titles like Forza 5 do beautifully show off the system's improved graphics. EA Sports used the event to demonstrate a new game engine that should make any footballer drool. And this story's battle metaphor would be incomplete without a mention of Call of Duty, which will deliver bonus game content exclusively to Xbox One users. So, competitors and gamers around the world, you've been put on notice. Microsoft intends to protect its turf.
It's an unrivaled device. It's going to give you the best gaming experience, the best entertainment. It's going to connect you with your friends and all the things that you love.
So, mission accomplished? The battle rages on.
Mark Istook in Redmonds. So, are you excited by what you've just seen? Email click@bbc.co.uk and let us know. And of course, in a couple of weeks' time, we'll be going to E3 in Los Angeles to hear much more from Sony, Microsoft, and of course, Nintendo. Next up, this week's tech news.
The internet giant Yahoo has bought up blogging site Tumblr for $1 billion plus some small change. Yahoo hopes the deal will open up a new audience to its online products and make it cool again. Yahoo's boss says things would largely remain unchanged, promising not to screw it up, but admitted she wants to introduce more seamless advertising. It comes as Yahoo has made significant changes to its other big purchase. The photo-sharing site Flickr is to upgrade its users to free 1 terabyte storage accounts and introduce a new, more picture-rich Android app. But it's doubling the cost for paid-for accounts that carry no advertising. Twitter has bowed to users asking for higher levels of account security, introducing two-step verification. The new option, activated in account settings, requires users to enter a code sent to their mobile phone alongside their password each time they sign in. The move comes after several high-profile accounts were hacked earlier this year. And finally, a debate that's raged on the internet for over 25 years has at last been put to rest. Steve Wilhite, inventor of the graphics interchange format, publicly declared that the acronym is pronounced GIF, not GIF, which is how most of us have been saying it. The animation format is still a staple of the online world, bringing us the weird, the wonderful, and, well, cats. Lots of cats.
Every few years, technology shrinks enough for someone somewhere to have a brilliant idea. If things keep getting smaller, they declare, we'll soon be able to fit all this lot into a watch. And so it is that every so often we see a new raft of smartwatches hit the scene. And that's where we are right now. And this latest crop of wrist-worn wonders claims to be much more than just a bunch of posh timepieces. And to demonstrate, Mark Chislak has been up the poshest timepiece of them all.
Perhaps the most famous clock in the world resides in London's Elizabeth Tower. Here, inside the Elizabeth Tower in Westminster, all year round, 3 clock mechanics tend and care for this giant 154-year-old example of mechanical timekeeping. It's almost a living mechanism. The clock mechanics here feed it by winding it 3 times a week. They regulate it to ensure it keeps good time. In fact, this venerable old timekeeper is accurate to within 1 second a day. This is timekeeping delivered on a grand scale. However, on a more personal, wearable level, time and technology march ever on. Lots of us may have ditched wristwatches in favour of a mobile phone's clock, but the watch itself is now capable of more than just telling the time. This is the annual Basel World Watch and Jewellery Fair in Switzerland, the premier event for all things horological. That's the art and science of timekeeping, to you and me. Here, all faces of the clock are covered, from the largest luxury brands promoting their latest marvels of micro-mechanical engineering to watches crafted in exotic ceramic materials, often carrying price tags similar to a family car's. How smart can a watch actually be? Well, that particular timepiece over there is fitted with a personal locator beacon, which seems pretty clever to me. Crafted in lightweight titanium and measuring a whopping 51mm across, the Emergency 2 contains an emergency transmitter that will notify search and rescue services of its owner's location once activated. The watch itself transmits 2 signals on emergency frequencies. One is earthbound, the other can be detected by satellites in space, regardless of its wearer's location. The personal locator beacon has its own battery, which must be charged up on this charging station every 2 months. The price for this level of safety? £12,000. And if its owner accidentally sets off the beacon, showing off down the pub, they'll be charged a considerable amount of cash to cover the cost of any scrambled search and rescue teams. The Berg watch isn't a watch at all, it's a wrist-mounted mobile phone. Inside lurks a SIM card, and the watch face sports a colour touchscreen, but it's certainly not a smartphone. It allows its user to make and receive calls, send and receive text messages, even watch and listen to multimedia content. Its screen is very small though. Texting or using its calculator can become an exercise in patience and steady-handed skill. But if you want to use a really smart watch, then you'd better own a smartphone. Most of these devices connect via Bluetooth in order to present their wearer with information from their phone, such as text and email message alerts, or acting as a remote control for a phone's music player. The iWatch is a fairly chunky slab of wristwear, but its aluminium shell keeps its weight down. It has a colour touchscreen, speakers and a microphone, and makes use of the Android operating system. It can make and receive calls when used in conjunction with the phone. However, that screen and Bluetooth make this a power-thirsty beast, requiring daily charging. Because the iWatch connects to a phone via Bluetooth tethering, it shares your phone's internet connection and is more battery intensive than standard Bluetooth. Once you're online, the next step is to set up each app via the iCloud before anything on the watch will work. Even then, you might not get quite what you expected. Most of the apps work to some level, but on the whole, the experience was a bit slow and clunky. And to cap it all off, the watch isn't even water resistant. Next, Pebble has had a lot to live up to, raking in a barnstorming $10 million on crowdfunding website Kickstarter, making it the most heavily funded project in the history of the site. That popularity came at a price though. With huge demand came huge delays. It's finally with us now, and those delays have paid off, sort of. The Pebble's basically a second screen for your phone, so if it's disconnected, it's not very useful. Connecting over always-on Bluetooth, the Pebble is hooked up to an app on your iPhone or Android handset. Emails, calls and text notifications from a phone appear on its screen, but because of its limited screen real estate, these are only really good as an overview. Style-wise, its plastic feel might not be for everyone, but it is waterproof to 50 metres and sports a low-power LCD e-paper display, eking out about a week of juice from the battery. But it's apps where the Pebble really starts to get interesting. The development kit has been out since April and has already garnered decent support from devs. Those apps include a host of new watch faces like these and a couple of dedicated applications like this fitness app. There are, of course, more apps still in development. The quality of these applications could well make or break the Pebble. At the moment, the watch doesn't do an awful lot, but what it does do, it manages fairly well. Rumours are rife surrounding Samsung and Apple's interest in producing a smartwatch. On this evidence, wearable technology certainly has potential in the not-too-distant future, even if it's not quite being realised in the present.
Mark Chislak with the latest batch of smartwatches. Now, I don't know about you, but back in the 80s, I had a calculator watch. Do you remember those? They'd have tiny buttons that were so fiddly to use that if you actually wanted to do a calculation, you had to take them off your wrist. At which point, all you had was a tiny calculator. Take my point? Anyway, next up it's Webscape, and Kate Russell starts this week with a fantastic suite of tools to make your YouTube videos look just that bit better.
It's fun to dabble with video editing, but if you want to get a bit more serious, check out Lightworks, a comprehensive editing suite that is powerful enough to have been used to help produce top Hollywood movies like Mission Impossible and Batman. The free version is packed with features and effects, with an upgrade to Pro if you want more professional input and output methods. If it's your first time using software like this, it might look a bit scary, but you'll pick it up in no time once you get to grips with some of the guides and tutorials. For those with a bit more experience, it'll come very quickly indeed, because the interface was pretty intuitive. There will be a steep learning curve though, so be prepared to lock yourself away in a quiet room for a few hours and read all of the PDF manuals. It's only available for Windows right now, but the Linux beta has just been opened to the public, and they plan to start alpha testing for the Mac version soon too, so bookmark the site for more news.
Like the wallpaper sticks to
Ever get the feeling you're being followed? That's kind of the whole point with Twitter, but Tendy apps have taken the concept to the edge of creepiness with their free iPhone app, Shadow Me. Going beyond a simple follow, this app lets you easily shadow a particular account, seeing everything that's public that they see.
We're closer than pages that stick in a book. We're closer than ripples that play in a brook.
Of course, privacy campaigners will probably have a good old chew on this one because it makes cyberstalking as easy as it's ever been. That said, the information it's serving up is nothing that isn't publicly available, so if you are worried about what it's delivering, then perhaps you should revisit your Twitter security settings.
Well, I pulled out a Pittsburgh.
For a less creepy thing to do with your iPhone, check out the Eddie Stobart app. It's not free, but that won't matter a jot to all you trucking fans, as it's beautifully made, and you can keep an eye out for all those famous distribution lorries as you drive about.
6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight.
The World Billiards Championship is one of the oldest sporting world championships in history, dating back to the mid-19th century. Agent 008 Ball has given this particularly sedate game a 21st century twist, recreated in glorious HTML5 to be played on the latest internet browsers. In this version of the game, a billiards tournament has been infiltrated by a terrorist group. Yes, really. And you are under constant pressure by the driving plinky-plonk music and exploding 8 balls to clear the table as quickly as possible. It's apparently a very accurate rendition of the physics of a real billiards table, which is probably why my inability to sink a ball in a pocket is so frustratingly realistic too. The winners of the 17th Annual Webby Awards were announced on Tuesday, Jerry Seinfeld, Kevin Spacey and Tumblr being among those invited to make a 5-word acceptance speech.
Why 5 words? It doesn't...
The winner takes it all.
Steve Wilhite, inventor of the GIF, received a Lifetime Achievement Award, and you know I pronounced that right. The website has links to all the nominees and winners to explore, and there is a YouTube channel if you want to watch clips from the night. Active Google Plus users, of which there are now apparently 190 million, will have noticed a complete overhaul of the desktop design last week, and now the makeover is going mobile. The social network announced on its blog that posts will now appear as cards in the mobile web stream, making them easier to read and interact with. As well as looking prettier, the design added 41 new features, including a multi-column layout, larger photos and automatic hashtags.
Thank you, Kate. That's Kate's Webscape, and you will find that at our website, along with lots of other stuff from the programme and breaking tech news throughout the week too. bbc.co.uk/click is the address you need. You'll also find us on Google+, Facebook and Twitter. And if you'd like to email us, you can. click@bbc.co.uk is our address. But that's it for now, so thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time.